and welcome back to my aquarium, and today we're going to be trying out the Elementalist. On the last run, if you did not check that out, I used the Death Knight here, because we just unlocked him, and I got a sub 10 minute run, my first one, and unlocked the Elementalist here. So that is what we're going to be trying out today. Very excited about that. So why don't we go ahead and just get on into it. I don't know, let's see what we want to even do here. 40%, did I like fail a run or something? 2, you're on 3. Are we trying to do something here, or we just have it on 2? Let's head back to the top, and why not just try to finish all of 3 with everything on. Oh, but our runes, what runes do we want to use? I usually like to put this on. You start the other special weapon, because we don't know what the special weapon is for this character yet. I like to put this one on, so we take 15% less damage. And then I usually like to use this one that lets us just have an extra long dash, because why not? And we'll go ahead and we'll go to this top one here, like we said. 1, 2, 3, everything on, and let's go ahead and see if we can kick that up real quick. Have a nice little run here. I haven't played any video games all day, but I'm excited to. Ooh, zappy. Oh, I did make my crosshair bigger here, as you can probably tell, based off the fact that it's bigger. What is this second ability? It's really cool. Oh, can I not see it? Why can't I see it? Call lightning. Summon a total of 7 lightning strikes away from you that quickly converge to your position, dealing 116 damage, applying daze. Okay. I'm actually going to make this a little smaller, but I did make it red here, as you can see. Is it light red over here? No, it's the same color. Alright. Should be good. I guess I could go in the corner and do the usual farm tech. I probably should. I don't know if I'm going to be doing any kind of like extra stuff. I might as well try to see if I can get an extra little time in the run here, because that way we can get prestige for him just immediately up, which is a good idea. I think next episode I'm probably going to use the Necromancer, because that's a character I need to actually get leveled up. Wow, this Call Lightning ability is actually really good. I need to get him leveled up so I can get some runes unlocked that will actually enable a Necromancer just to be better with a full summon build, because that's something I'm super interested in trying. Okay, we already do have 2 lightning abilities here, electric I should say. Obviously, Death Vortex is one of my favorite abilities in the game. What is this oriented? Increased chance of critical strikes. And this already has daze, which increased chance to receive critical strikes by 15% for 8 seconds. Okay. Huh. Well, I like Shadow Orb, I think it's good. We'll just grab Death Vortex, because I know it's so good, so I feel like why not just get it, right? Something I'm looking for, I think like Arcane Beam could be really cool. Since we already have this like Lightning Beam, we could get Arcane Beam too, and then have, you know, 2 beam attacks, and then I'm sure they would stack up very, very nicely with each other. So that's something I'm looking for. If I can get it, I think it'd be very nice. Obviously, Death Vortex here is going to be a great ability, as always. If I want to stack up more Doom, I could do that. Because I'm thinking, from what I've seen, actually, I think I was kind of sleeping on Doom at first. I think I was overvaluing Doom. Oops. And then I think, ooh, damage modifier, please. And then I think I kind of undervalued Doom. Whoa, Chromatic Bolt. Fires a ricocheting shot in the direction you're aiming at that bounces around between targets until it has traveled a total of 60 meters, dealing 82 damage, and applying a random damaging negative effect every time it hits an enemy. Wow, well that's new, and look how many skill types this has. Okay, so the Elementalist has access to abilities that have all of the what do you want to call these things? Well, I guess elements on them. That's so cool. I love that. Okay. I wonder what other unique abilities this guy's going to have. Obviously, as we level him up too, throughout the prestige levels, he'll get even more unique abilities. That's a really cool one, though. I'm a big fan of this. I am fast enough to just kind of run around this guy, so that's what I'm doing a bit here. Beating these little schloozers up. Let's go grab his XP. Okay, exploders are already spawning. That's fine. We'll keep tearing it up here. Dang, dude. So this character seems pretty cool already. I'm excited. Okay, see, this is what I'm saying, Light Beam. So we can stack this up with our beam that we already have. That also applies Brittle, which is really good. Multi-chance of Light Beam. Cast Frequency. And then I do love Arcane Sparks. Yeah, sure, let's go Arcane Sparks. This could be a pretty good run, I think. We'll give it a try at least. And if it's feeling weak at any point, then we can go ahead and see about trading stuff out. But I like the idea of this combo. It's pretty darn cool. Alright. I love that every character just has like unique abilities. So, you know, you get in, and then you actually get the chance to just see, all right, well, what's this guy gonna have? What's this guy gonna have? And then you have something as cool as this, where it's just like chromatic bowl, and it's just like, that's such a dope ability. But yeah, we were just lasering these cheek holes on these guys. Trying to focus this Death Knight down first. There we go. Did pretty good. Let's just level really quick. Any of these? No, like I said, I think I'm pretty good with what I have. Cast Frequency, yes, please. I think that might have been overall damage modifier. Probably should have gotten that. I'm kind of interested in seeing if I can just, like, pog out on this ability. I gotta be careful here, but I'm a little slowed. And they're macking on my cheek holes. Yeah, so we got a sub 10 last time, you know, when we unlocked that Death Knight, and I was honestly just editing that a second ago, and I was looking back at it, and I was like, that was nice. Or, you know, we got it with the Death Knight, and I gotta say, I'm a big fan of Death Knight. I think he's a really cool character, and I'm very happy to have unlocked him. And I'm very interested to see in the future if I can use him in some more just fun builds and maybe higher curse levels. I'm imagining he'd be very hard to maneuver around with and use at a high skill level, you know, when you're doing those high tiers of curse, because I think I had full either curse 2 or curse 3 on when I used him. So it wasn't anything that crazy, but even then, you know, I was like, wow, I could easily see this getting really, really difficult. So it's something I'm interested in trying out in the future. Oops, got bopped by one of those little dudes. It's okay. Yeah, this Call Lightning seems like a pretty good ability, of course, as it converges on you. First of all, it's quite good for taking out Sploders, which are one of the biggest nuisances in this game to me, because as it's coming in, it's going to hit every Sploder on the way into me. And then just beyond that, it just has good damage, I think, to all. Applies Daze itself, and it's just, you know, very solid. I like when the characters have a good special ability. I don't always put on their special weapon, but if it's something like I'm going to be using the Sentinel, then I like to put on their special weapon, because the special weapon the Sentinel has is Rain of Arrows with the regular bow that it has. And if you have on the Spread Shot bow, then they have a Poison Rain, and that one's very good as well. I need to be careful with my movement speed here, because it is already pretty low, and I'm getting it lower. So I need to be careful about that. He's going to do his own beam attack here, which is fine by me. Hey, I got 2 beams of my own, brother. I can kind of cook you down, I think. For once, you're not going to have the strongest beam on the block, brother. My beam shake brings all the boys to the yard. That's the first thing you should know about me. It's just a little quirk about myself. So I got a new keyboard. I am playing on it right now, which is good. That's the Razer Ornata version 2, if you're interested. I know some people were really like, ooh, what'd you get? What'd you get? They really like, know that kind of stuff. So if you're a big, you know, person that's in all that kind of tech stuff, and especially accessories like that kind of stuff, then there you go. Razer Ornata version 2. I'm not like a Razer fanboy, but my mouse and my keyboard are Razer right now. I had the same keyboard for, Lord, it was at least 4 years. Because I remember I got it for a birthday like many years ago, you know, when I turned like 18 or something, if not 17, and it lasted me a long time. I think it was like the Black Widow, maybe, something like that, or something like that. I don't know. They named shit up like snakes and all this crazy stuff. Maybe it was like a Kraken something? I don't know. But the point is, I used it for a very long time, like 4 years, like I'm saying, and it held up really well. And it's not even that it was unusable. It was just like, you know, your greasy fingers get over it all through the years, and some keys were a little chipped from some rage moments through the years. And it was just time for it to bite the dust and go to the land of, you know, the land of praise, which is my closet, in case this one ever is out of commission for whatever reason and I need to use that one. I can always have it as a nice little backup. Be like, alright, you're coming out of retirement, brother. But it served me very well, and overall, I'm trying to just to get down here, actually, because I was not having a good time with that guy in the corner like he was, and I'd rather just get up on this guy and use some of my beam attacks here. Uh-oh. Okay. Alright, he is shooting his flamethrower attack. I'm not feeling too weak. I think the only thing that I'm seeing as a potential problem is as more enemies spawn here, and I have less movement speed than I'd like, but using these beam attacks, this is the biggest weakness of the beam attacks that I usually see is it's hard to use them on bosses when you can't even, you know, get to them. If there's too many smaller enemies in the way, or elites especially, then you can't even hit the boss with your beam, then it's not as good in my opinion. And that's something I've always seen as like one of the biggest weak points with beam attacks, and why I don't think they're super crazy, but at the same time I know they can have insanely high damage outputs, so they do interest me quite a bit. That kind of dichotomy of, is this, it's such a good single enemy killer, but at the same time a single enemy in front of you that isn't necessarily dying fast enough could really cuck you, for lack of a better word, to getting to those bigger enemies like these bosses as fast as you would like to, and being able to actually hit them, you know what I mean? So that's interesting. I think I might go for the Ice Boy here first, because I am already slow, and if he's going to be slowing me a lot, that's not something I really love to see. And the Prophetess kind of sits still a lot, so if I can hit her, that's fine. But it's mostly just about what we can do. That's some nice movement speed. I really appreciate that. Arcane Sparks, it's a lot of multicast chance on them, which is very good. I would love to see these Arcane Sparks start going crazy. There we go. So when you get the beam on them for 1 second, look how fast they get cooked. That's what I'm saying. It's just about getting that beam on them, which is why you need some good stuff to kind of subsidize your run in other damage forms, such as the Death Vortex or the Arcane Sparks coming around, the Call Lightning to you, to where it can actually clear out the riffraff in front of the boss so you can actually get those beam attacks on top of them. So there's some stuff you need to really enable these runs, and it's fun to figure out. It's kind of like making a puzzle, right? Do I have the pieces I need to finish this puzzle and actually complete it? And I think right now we do have the pieces we need. And then that's always fun to see it actually come together, you know? But yeah, new keyboard, feeling pretty darn nice. My other keyboards, here's the thing with me, I really like mechanical keyboards. I want to feel the pushback on my fingers when I let up. I want to hear a bit of a clicking. Which, the problem with nowadays, I do obviously a lot of recording, that can be kind of counterintuitive. I do have a AI software that cuts out that noise of the clicking and whatnot, so you guys usually never hear it. You might hear a mouse click or whatnot every now and again, especially if I'm quiet for a second and then I start talking again, because it doesn't know how to filter that out as much. But when I'm continuously talking, and like this entire runs, you know, I'm pressing and there's clicking coming off my keyboard, you're not even really hearing that. So it does its job well. It's very good at that. But, alright, I need to get up here, because he's going to Beyblade, yeah. That worries me. I am just very slow. Very slow. But, you see what I mean? Like, just getting these beams on him, look how cucked he is getting from these beams. Speaking of beams, he's going to do a flamethrower attack here. We can dash down through his fire, especially if we're equipped with it. Dash up through his fire. We did actually take a hit there, which is unfortunate, but it happens. And there we go. Another sub 10. He's just too good with it now. What is this? Blizzard. Active skill. Conjures a blizzard over a random enemy, hitting enemies multiple times. Let's do a little bit of an endless mode here. We did Overlord mode, I should say. Very recently. We haven't done the endless for a while, so we'll go ahead and do that. My hands are off the keyboard here because I am taking a sip of water. Yeah, we're getting pretty strong. I think this is a pretty strong run. It's a good sign of how strong it is that we were able to cuck it out that fast. I wonder how good this chromatic bolt is doing, because it seems like when I see the effect go out, it's hitting quite a few enemies, and really, with the amount of effects I'm seeing applied to the enemies, I'm assuming it's doing quite well. Alright, let's see here. Some good upgrades. We are getting strong. I am doing crit because we have a lot of dazed and whatnot on these lightning abilities I can apply, or make the chance for us to do these crits higher, and also make those crits do more damage. So if we can just enable our crit damage to be higher from those passive modifiers, it's going to be a very big additive boost to our overall damage output. So I'm very much looking getting those upgrades. But yeah, very nice keyboard. I'm very excited to actually give it a try with, you know, like a FPS or something, because right now this is the first game I'm trying it on. But even just typing today, I felt much better typing and not missing as many keys or whatnot, like I feel like I might have missed on my old keyboard. So I feel like, what was that? Oh, I can't mouse over it. Hold on, I want to check that really quick. Every time you just apply a stack of days, oh, burn, okay. I thought it said like explosion, like a stack of explode, and I was like, what that? What that mean? Yeah, see, when you get a beam on these guys for like 1 second, look how fast you can cook. And the more dazed you can apply, you know, the more chance they have to crit, and then they have chromatic bolts going on them, they're getting more and more, and then they have arcane sparks, chopping off and making them, you know, take more damage from brittle or whatever it is, so it's just some good stuff. Really good combo we have going on here. Big fan of this run. Damage modifier there, that's going to be a big one. What do we got so far? Level 11 on that chromatic, and then level 11 on the Death Vortex as well. Sorry if I use Death Vortex too much. You let me know if that's something you don't want to see as like super repeats of abilities, but it's just I know how good the ability is, and it's just a very good ability to have in almost any build to just sort of give you that extra oomph of damage, but also really good crowd control and, you know, just area denial. So it's just a great part of almost any build, and I like either this or like Icy Vortex. I think it's always good to have one of those in the build because they can just carry so much of the run for you, and I really appreciate that. Alright, I would like to be killing a little faster perhaps, but we're not doing bad. Not doing bad in the slightest. Let's level up here first, in case we get, just like this, a magnetic upgrade. Sure, why not? Let's go crazy with the dazed, right? An effect that I think is pretty darn good. And the dazed can enable some other effects, then why not? So what have I been doing lately? Well, let's see. Yeah, dude. This shit's funny. I gotta talk about this shit. So, I don't really, never really cared for like trash TV, you know, like reality TV, until I was dating the last girl I dated, and we used to just watch a bunch of these like Netflix trash TV shows. You know, I'm talking like Too Hot to Handle and stuff, where they go on an island and they're just like a bunch of sex addicts and they're trying not to fuck each other. And every time they do, this is the premise of the show, right? They're stuck on an island, 10 people, 10 guys, or 5 guys, 5 girls, and they just have to not fuck. They don't know that this is going to be happening when they go on the show. They think they're going on a show where they're going to be able to like go wild and just fuck like crazy, you know. And they're all like I said, like sex addicts who are really bad at actually committing to relationships in real life. And the idea of the show is to have them not touch, and if they do, they take away from their prize pool of 200 grand. So, you know, you do that and you're screwing over the other contestants that maybe have been playing the game better than you and not, you know, fucking like rabbits. And then they might start hating each other, and that's where the drama kind of comes from. And stealing each other's, you know, dates or whatever it might be is some more drama too. And it's funny stuff. I will say it is some funny stuff. But you know, we used to watch those together all the time, and I was like, I don't know if I'll watch them still by myself. But a new season just aired like in the past few days, and I was like, you know, I'm gonna give it a try. And I do still enjoy them by myself because they're just so funny. I love laughing at these people. Because it's like, seriously, dude, you offer me hundreds of thousands of dollars on the line, and all I gotta do is control the horny for a week or two? Like, yeah, no problem. Papa wants the bread. Like, come on now. But there's this dude on there, and he's like super trying to like make sure no one does anything, and he's my favorite, I say like character, my favorite person on the show, contestant, I suppose you would say, because he's just like the sex cop, they dubbed him, and he's just like coming in trying to make sure no one's schmanging so he can get this money, because he's like, listen, I'm a college student, like I'm broke busted, and this can cover a lot for me. And I'm like, yeah, get it, brother. That's a great reason to actually want this and not just be a horny little gremlin. So I like him a lot, I respect him a lot. But some of the other ones, man, it's just like, oh, you guys are such scumbags. Like, calm down. They really do fuck like rabbits, and it's just sad. But yeah, it's an interesting show. Whoa, okay, I just fully died there. What was that? I don't know what those attacks were. They just like came in like crazy. Was it just from him? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe some elites or something? Heyo. Careful there. You sucker. But funny show, but the funniest part is that one of the contestants was named the same as my ex. And I was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. And then all the guys were just like all over her, and I was like, it's weird because she was like the ugliest girl, like out of all the girls. And I was like, this bitch is fucking ugly. Why are you all simping over here? So it was really weird. But then I was like, how crazy would it be if they had a guy come on in this same season who had my name, and it didn't happen until like halfway through the season. They'll introduce new people to the island to like shake things up and cause drama, you know, try to split some of the other couples up. And here comes these two new people, one new guy, one new girl, and the guy's name is the same as mine, and I'm like, you're fucking kidding me. And it was just the funniest thing. And then all the girls are instantly like swooning over the new guy, and I was like, brother. It's just like poetically hilarious to me. But it's a funny show. I highly recommend, if you got the spare time and are looking for a show and want to kind of just laugh at it, especially if you have someone to watch it with and you just want to like get drunk first. That's what I used to do. It's very, very much so funny when you do that, especially because you're just like, these people are hopeless, but at least we can just laugh at them, and it is really, really funny just to laugh at them. Big crits coming out here. Oh yeah, look at the crits on this guy. Trying to knock his little socks off here. Oh, what's gonna be a saw blade? Yeah, I'm just focusing him down first, obviously. A lot of ice stuff going on. Here comes this laser beam again, but he should die to my laser beam. There we go. Now let's see if we can get around this ice boy and actually take him out of it. So yeah, good show, highly recommend it. There's another, actually, like game show like that I'm waiting for this season too. This should be pretty good. This one's called the Circle, and what they do is it's supposed to be like a social media reality contest show. Essentially, they take a bunch of people, they lock them in apartments. Lock them in. I mean, actually, yeah, they are kind of locked in. And they can only communicate with each other through texting on a screen. So you have the option when you go in to play as yourself or to catfish. So you can either say, you know, this is me. I think I'm, you know, cool enough on my own, interesting enough on my own, I can make enough friends and win enough people over on my own to win. Or some people, like, there'll be a lot of guys who are like, you know, I'm gonna catfish as my girlfriend, and they'll take like a picture of their girlfriend or their friend from real life and be like, I'm gonna catfish as this person because I can just trick all these guys by flirting with them and pretending I'm this girl, and then, you know, try to get to the end of the game and get their vote to win. And so it's always funny because you never know, because it'll be like this, you know, 40-year-old dude flirting with some like 20-year-old dude because he's catfishing as his daughter or some crazy shit, and you're just like, oh wow, this is wild. Yeah, see, here's the problem with the beam attack. I'm like trying to stick in these fights and sometimes it's getting me a little screwed over, but overall I think it's pretty darn good. I mean, I'm fine if we end up like full dying at any point. It's cool with me. I've already seen how good this character is. I'm really just pulling this run out because I know I've been getting some short runs for you guys lately, and I want to get some longer videos for those of you that are actually been watching every day. I really appreciate that, so I want to get you some good runtime here. But yeah, there's some crazy shows on there. Some crazy shows. I mean, we are cooking, like when we actually get that direct damage. It's going crazy. Let's see how quick we can kill this elite. I mean, look at him, he's melting. It's good stuff. But yeah, besides that, I know I was talking about My Hero Academia the other day. I finished that, I got caught up. It's still airing the 6th season, I think. So I'm kind of just waiting for new episodes to come out. Whenever they do, I'll just be live caught up, and I'm fine with that. I like binging, but it's okay. I can just watch it live, and then if it like ends or whatever, then I can be there when it kind of ends, you know what I mean? So there's goods to that, positives to that as well. What else? I mean, I just mostly been watching YouTube and stuff, hanging out. I mean, went to a trivia on Wednesday. I usually go every week with my family, but oh man, I mean, they do it in a bar, you know, that's the whole point. They hire someone to come out and do trivia for them, and then more people come to the bar and they drink, and so it's like a win-win for everybody. And if you win, you place in the top 3, you get a coupon, you know, for the next week, so you can come back and get some free drinks and try to continue your win cycle. So it's just like, you know, everybody wins. But usually I don't drink too much, but man, this time I was like, Screw it, I'm feeling saucy. Oh my god. Definitely had too much. Oh, there's the new skill we have. Conjures a blizzard over a random enemy, hitting enemies multiple times, causing a total of 1400 damage and applying slow. We're not going to get it this time, but I'd love to do a ice build in the future and look for that. That'd be really cool. So yeah, I was like, ooh, my stomach was messed up when I got home. So I literally like went to the bathroom and slept there for a while, just conked out next to the toilet. So I was like, I feel like I'm gonna fucking puke. And I'd rather not do that. Where are the portals? Can you point me in the direction? Thank you. We'll do one more loop here. That's alright, you guys, take a sip of water here. So yeah, that stuff was funny. But I was like not feeling good for the most of the day. My stomach was just really upset. But I got some food in me and I was like just chugging liquids through the day and feeling better now. Definitely did not do as much work as I should have today though. That's why I'm recording this now, because I was like, alright, I gotta get some work done. I was even late posting today's episode of Soulstone Survivors because I forgot. Well, I knew I needed to edit one and get it up for you guys when I got home from trivia that night, but then I was just like, I was gone. It wasn't happening. I was like, nope, not happening. But I slept like shit and just like, well, obviously I barely slept, and when I did sleep, it was just not good. You know how it be. But, yeah. I survived. I'm still young. Let's see. Let's do the block power. Okay. What is arcane? Oh. I think the only ones that are arcane is this and this. Alright. We got level 20 on that thing now. Level 22 on our light beam here. Yeah, look how hard that's hitting. Yeah, that's good stuff. These beam builds can be really good. I would have loved to have gotten an arcane beam as well. If I could have got all 3 beams, that's something I'll definitely want to try in the future, because that sounds really cool. Just having all 3 beams going off. So we'll add that to the list. There's a lot of cool different little unique runs I want to do and stuff, and now that I've actually made good progress at unlocking stuff and I have all the characters unlocked, it's more so just now I can kind of go into a run knowing that I want to craft something cool and then just show it off for you guys. So it interests me that I can actually do that more in the future, and that's going to be some of the main focus as we go on here. He's going to do his lay beam attack. Got stuck on some architecture there. It's the first time that happened this episode, so I've been a little more careful about it, so we'll continue to be a little careful about it. Yeah, you can follow me down here, because I know you're Beyblade, if you want to, and then I can just kind of cook your cheeks. How much damage is stacked up? Ooh, 3 milli, baby! There's a saw blade that's going to come back, so let's be careful of that. Let's pop here, too. Poison with Doom. Oh, sorry, my nose is really itchy. Oh, yes, that's big movement speed. Multicast, and then multicast for Arcane again. I have to imagine our Arcane Sparks are probably doing pretty darn good, too. Definitely an ability you don't want to sleep on. I feel like some people will probably just be like, they're just kind of bouncing around, and it's like, yeah, they are bouncing around. Just like a good old pair of knocker. What? But they do a lot of damage. It really does stack up. And it's mostly about the effect it applies, more so than just the damage as well. You know, that's something you have to actually quantify in when you're seeing how worthwhile is this ability. It definitely comes together to be very, very useful. Sorry, the music just hit hard there. Okay, so yeah, that's crazy that this thing is technically holy, you know, that's... I love how it's just everything. Oh, Lord. Fire, which is literally only that. But it's 30%, so it's, like, worth it, I think. Ooh. Shadow is just these two. But I can just make, you know, that bigger. The Death Vortex bigger. The Death Vortex looks like it's pretty darn big right now. And the lightning strike there, the Call Lightning, also very large. That's awesome to see. Yeah. What else? I don't even know what else to talk about sometimes. The run is going very well. I'm very much a fan of this. I think I'm going to try to focus on unlocking some runes, which I think a lot of them are tied to prestige levels with characters, so characters that I don't have at super high prestiges I'll probably keep working on, and then we'll just go down the list like we're doing right now and unlocking higher and higher tiers of Curse for every single map. There should be an update coming pretty soon. They said in the first 2 weeks of December that we would get an update. And we are in the first 2 weeks of December. It's December 9th right now, to pull the veil back for you. So, you know, within the next few days, honestly, we should get another update. And it said there's going to be a pretty big one with actually more content coming out, because the last update was more so just kind of polishing the game up a bit, which I super appreciate that they actually do just give updates towards that. That's a big place where I think a lot of games actually mess up, because they're just like new content, and of course everyone loves new content. It's great. It keeps the game alive, it keeps things fresh, but nobody cares about new content when the game doesn't even work. That's a big problem in the main FPS I play right now, Destiny 2, which is just, sure, you're giving us new content, but it doesn't matter because the game is in a terrible spot. The balancing is god-awful. You know, oh god, sorry, I'm trying to avoid this attack really quick. The balancing is god-awful. The cheese is crazy, the amount of cheaters is nuts, and it's just so many things. And they just added a ranked mode, because they're like, oh look, it's new, it's content. And it's like, you can't just add a ranked mode when the game is in one of its most broken spaces that it's ever been in, but you didn't even address, you know, the things that are making it broken. All you're doing is trying to cover it up with the guise of, here, look, we made stuff for you. And it's like, cool. Nobody wants to play the game, so this content doesn't matter. And that's where I appreciate this game is actually going, hey, we want to make new content, but we also want to make sure the game is just running well, you know, that it's performing well, and that it's balanced well. So we're going to commit patches sometimes to just explicitly that, and it's like, that's awesome. I really appreciate that. You know, a developer has good heads on its shoulders when it actually does that. But I think that really ties into the entire gaming industry and, well, capitalism, because you come in and you get Sony just bought Bungie, who makes Destiny 2, right? And ever since then, the transparency from the company has just gone to the shitter. They used to be so transparent. We're going to work on this. We want to bring this to the game, this and that and that. And you're like, that's amazing. And you get so excited for it. And now the transparency, the communication between the community, you know, and the devs is so much lower. And it's frustrating going from that much communication to this just terribly lacking amount. And you're like, man, I don't even know what's happening anymore, or what their goals are. Like, what do they want to accomplish here? Because they just don't say it, and it's just bad. So it's coming from a place though where everyone's just like, okay, this has to be some sort of way tied to the acquisition by Sony, because of course Sony's gonna be like, hey, make us money. You know, they didn't buy them for however many hundreds of millions or 2 billion, whatever the heck it was, for them to not make it an ass load of money. And they do make them an ass load of money, you know what I mean? Like, they're going to, but it just seems like they're going, hey, you're a money machine now. And before they were owned by Activision, so, you know, the fact that they were even more transparent in that era is saying a lot. But they've also gone free to play, so now a lot more of their monetary, you know, gains are coming from seasonal events. They do 4 seasons a year with season passes, $10 for each season pass, and then once a year they come out with a whole new DLC, and the DLC is like huge. Okay, here you go. It's going to be a lot of new content and usually a good polishing of the game, but then they just don't care about the seasons. It's like they put all their resources into, here's the next DLC and here it drops and it's going to be amazing, and they usually are, but when only the DLCs are amazing, you start to notice how bad just the rest of the season is. This is really bad of me. It's terrible dodges. It's kind of, I mean, it's my fault, but at the same time, it's kind of nothing I can do about it until he gets off that wall, because he's got fire surrounding him, and when he's standing on the wall like he was before, literally touching it, I couldn't dodge his flamethrower attack because I couldn't get behind him safely and get around him. So that's something I hate when bosses do that. I wish they kind of had like bumpers, you know, like when you're bowling and you're a kid and you got bumpers. I wish they had bumpers for the bosses to be like, okay, you gotta stay at least this far away from a wall, because it is kind of an unfair place for bosses to stand, especially because one of the best ways to farm out quick, you know, levels, to get through stuff quick, to get these bosses spawning, is to go into a corner. Oops, that's not my fault. That's my fault right there. Is to stand in the corner, you know, and then they're just spawning. Ooh, Arcane Beam would be hot. We're not going to go in, but in the future, that's definitely a build we'll go for. But yeah, it's something that annoys me in this game. Can I find like a health crystal anywhere? Do you think there's any on the ground? Not quite sure. We can go. We'll have a look. We'll have a look around real quick. So yeah, the gaming industry is, I don't know. I don't know when it's going to reach like a breaking point, because AAA games just keep costing more and more, and that's why I think more people are getting more and more drawn to indie games like this, you know? Soulstone Survivors is insanely successful for what it is. It's one of the biggest games on Steam this year, and that's extremely impressive. I'm sorry, I have to point this out really quick. Is there more of a chance for certain bosses to spawn with other certain bosses? Because this is like the third time this run that we've gotten the Prophetess with the Ice Boy. Like, are they more likely to spawn together? It kind of seems like it, doesn't it? I know causation, or correlation is not causation, but looking at the cold hard statistics here, it's kind of lining up in that direction, for me at least. And I think that will do it for this run. But yeah, I think the industry is at quite an interesting point right now, where it's just like, people are pretty sick of AAA companies. Ooh, what is this? Frozen Warhammer. Conjures a Frozen Warhammer to slam targets in front of you, dealing 300 damage for an extra 15. One more unlock here. Prestige level 21, that's awesome. Lava Shield. Creates 3 orbs that rotate around you for 6 seconds, exploding on contact with enemies, causing 200 damage and applying melting. Wow, so it's kind of like an upgraded Fire Shield. Some good shit there. 225 million from Light Beam? And 130 million from Lightning Beam? My god. I knew beams could be good, but I think stacking them is just makes them insanely good. Wow. Chromatic Bolt did do pretty darn good. Arcane Sparks. Dang. That's probably a good testament to the fact that we went on for 2 whole loops after, but still, even so, which is really good. Oh, I didn't know I wasn't even at full runic power. Wait, that was some good stuff. Up to Prestige 20 already. Did we unlock it? Okay, so Frozen, yeah, we already unlocked 2 of his unique skills. We'll have to do a run at some point where we use like all of his unique skills or something. But next time, I think we're going to kick it over to the Necromancer and actually get him Prestige leveled up and see if we can actually get some good runes with him unlocked and whatnot. So if you want to go and see that, I really appreciate it. If you want to leave me a like, comment, subscribe, or hit that notification bell, because this is a daily series. So if you want to have this delivered straight to your inbox every single day, just go ahead and click that notification bell and they'll slap it right into your notifications. But all that being said is it for me today, so as always, have a great day.